Now that Christmas is over, I wanted to talk a little bit about what Christmas has meant to me and what it now does mean to me. In the past, Christmas was always a burden. I never really understood it. Maybe that had part to do with the fact that, growing up we didn't have a lot of money, so we didn't get a lot of the big gifts. And, of course, toys have changed a lot since when I was a kid. Expensive toys now cost, thousands of dollars. When I was a kid, an expensive toy would have been $20-30. And that was just not something my parents thought was worth spending money on. And not that I disagreed. But as I got a little bit older, Christmas was always a negative thing for me, because I just never really understood the purpose, not behind the meaning of Christmas, but what people have turned Christmas into. And I really, really had a problem with that up until recently, where it was an excuse to spend inordinate amount of money on what really amounted to junk, what people didn't really need. People gave you stuff they just didn't put a whole lot of thought into it. They just kind of, went out and spent a few bucks and, said Merry Christmas. And because you knew they were going to do that for you, you felt obligated that you had to go out and spend a few bucks on them on something they didn't need or want or whatever, because you didn't want to be the one that didn't get something for somebody. And I just didn't like that part about it. And it took me a long time to just really let that go and realize that there are people out there that, although giving gifts is an important part of what they do for Christmas, it's not the biggest part of what they do for Christmas. And I think this year was the first year that it really stuck. My wife is very big on personalized gifts. Not so much handmade or homemade things like that, but something that have a little meaning, that incorporate the name of the family, incorporate some sentimental significance. She really puts a lot of thought into the gifts that she gives, and I always admired her for that, because she just was in tune so well with what people wanted and what people were about and what was significant and sentimental to other people. And that was just never something that I could really get in touch with. But to see her do that, and to see her show that compassion and that just overwhelming love that she has for people around her, it's amazing to watch. It's definitely something otherworldly to watch her show her love and compassion for her family and her friends. And this year for me, every gift I got was something meaningful. The people that got it for me really took the time to think about, the things I liked, the things that meant something to me, the things that would help me in my life, help me in my journey, help me become a better person. And of course there were some things that were, although personal, were, very secular, being a Cubs fan. But you could probably see I'm wearing a Cubs shirt, and although it's just a simple t-shirt, it's something that means a lot. Somebody put a lot of thought into, when they see that, they said, you know what, that is something that I know that he would like. And when my in-laws give me a gift card to Lifeway Christian bookstore, and because they know that I'm trying to ingest as much, take in as much of that stuff, that the good literature, the good, whether it be fiction or nonfiction. I'm trying to ingest as much of that as I can to fill my mind with the good things that I want in my mind, and kind of remove a lot of that bad and negativity. And for them to put the thought, it seems like a gift card is so simple, but I turn that gift card into what's going to amount to, probably a couple months worth of, reading and studying, and it's just going to make me, even that much better of a person, and just fill me with more knowledge that I didn't have before. And then my wife, I say behind my back, but without my knowledge, there was no, conniving or betrayal or anything like that, but it was just, she tried to do it without me knowing, and I almost picked up on it, but she was able to get it done without me finding out. Several years ago, I attended the Kentucky Derby in Louisville, and while I was there, I visited the Louisville Slugger Museum, and I had gotten myself a custom-made bat that had the Cubs logo engraved, and also my name engraved on it. And I really I love that bat. And when I got it, I never thought about the fact that I'm not going to have anywhere to display this bat, and to have a couple $100 of basically lumber sitting in a box for 4 years. I was proud of it. I just never thought it was something that I'd be able to show off. And and I hadn't talked about it in a long time, but she really put a lot of thought into the fact that she knew how much that meant to me. And she got with my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law, and they designed a bat display case for me to display that, and so I could see it every day, and I could be reminded of something, something good, something that I had fun doing, something that I remember fondly. And when I got it, I was overcome with emotion, and something that's happened to me in the past 6 or 7 months since I've became a follower of Christ is that my emotions come more freely. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, but my emotions do come freely, and I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to cry in front of people. To be alive, to be moved to tears on a regular basis. I think that's something that everybody should do, because it really makes you get in touch with what's really going on inside of you. And for her to put that much thought into something, and it's just, and I put it in a place, going back and forth, kind of getting frustrated about where to put it, but when we finally decided on a good spot, it's a place that I'll see every day when I get out of bed, as I'm getting ready for work, and it's a reminder of an enjoyable experience I had in my life, and two, it's a reminder, just how much, my wife cares about me and loves me, that she would go through that process to get this thing made, and allow a couple $100 piece of lumber to be displayed in her house. And any of you ladies out there, I know it's not something that you would readily do, but she did it with an open heart and an open mind. And for that, there's there's no gift that I've ever received that can even equate to the importance of that.